When we look at the symbolic interaction theory and use it to analyze the movie Forrest Gump, we initially make the conclusion that because of his low intelligence, Forrest is not aware of the significance of his historical experiences. However, the real message of the movie is that of pursuing happiness, despite your life experiences. According to symbolic interaction theory, we do not react directly to events, but rather to our interpretation of the meaning of events. The words we use to describe our behavior and that of others is important in this theory. The way we think about ourselves is actually a reaction to what we think others think of us. Our self-concept is built up or destroyed based on the groups we interact with. The theme in the movie is in order to be happy, you must accept that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Forrest, through a process of accepting and experiencing the challenges of life, represents this ideal lifestyle. Depending on the social situation Forrest Gump found himself in, he responded to the other characters in order to reinforce his method of pursuing happiness. His box of chocolates simile is used in various contexts with both Jenny and Bubba are essential elements in understanding the intended message about the pursuit of happiness. In analyzing the relationship between Bubba and Forrest, we see that they share a similar background. Both grew up in small towns in Alabama and both led relatively sheltered lives. They became fast friends because they shared the same value system. The difference between them is that Bubba did not assimilate into life in the Army, while Forrest did. Bubba did not succeed at being happy in this new environment and only talked about going home. Forrest tried to embrace his new surroundings and tried to learn from these new experiences. When Bubba died in Forrest's arm, we see that he never assimilated to his new lifestyle. Bubba's final words were, "Forrest, I want to go home." Help us see that although both men shared similar backgrounds in terms of symbolic interaction, Bubba never opened the box of chocolates, while Forrest not only opened the box, but enjoyed their variety. Click on the video to the left to see Bubba's death and how he never reached his pursuit of happiness. We first meet Jenny as a child of 6, who's a sweet and innocent friend to Forrest. Through Jenny, Forrest becomes more confident as she shouts, "Run, Forrest, run!" Later we see Jenny, who has left the South and joined the hippie movement and become an anti-establishment. We get the sense that she has lost her innocence, as she becomes involved in an abusive relationship and with drug use. Later the relationship with Jenny changes yet again, as she learns she is dying and introduces Forrest to their son. Jenny and Forrest marry, and we realize that she has reached happiness. The steps she takes to reach happiness are typical to each of us as we leave our families and start over in order to become happy. Jenny's approach to happiness did lead her into a destructive and casual life of sex and drug use. She admits this to Forrest that she had been really messed up, but that she had then changed. Through Jenny, we are reminded that one must accept who they are in order to find happiness within themselves. It seems clear through the communication theory of symbolic interaction that the movie Forrest Gump was able to deliver the message about the proper way to achieve happiness through meaningful characters. The video to the left will show the path Jenny had to go through to reach her pursuit of happiness.
No, I don't think it's close either. Good, what are you thinking? Yeah. Once you have a choice to entirely, then you can
When we look at the symbolic interaction theory,
Self-disclosure is when one tells information to someone else so that it helps him or her understand them more. It is usually information that is not shared with many. In the Forrest Gump film, Forrest began self-disclosure by sharing his life story with several different people while sitting on the bench. He was usually the quiet type, but that was only because he didn't realize how amazing he was. Each person he talked to had that sense of warmth from Forrest because he had accomplished so many great things in life. At that time, Forrest experienced happiness knowing that he was about to see Jenny again. Another sense of self-disclosure was when Jenny was talking to Forrest while lying sick in bed. While taking care of her, Forrest began telling Jenny about all his experiences in life while she was gone. He then began sharing how every time he looked at the sky, it gave him a sense of peace and hope. The little things that really mattered to Forrest is what he really didn't share with anybody. What meant the most to him was Jenny, his son, and the quiet, soothing times he had by himself. Jenny then began telling Forrest how much she loved him for who he really was. Even after Jenny passed away, Forrest still continued to share his feelings to her at her gravesite, along with a few shedded tears. Click the videos to the right to show Forrest in his many ways of showing self-disclosure with Jenny and the people he sat with on the bench.
Were you scared in Vietnam?
Yes. Why? I don't know. Sometimes it would stop raining long enough for the stars to come out. And then it was nice. It was like just before the sun goes to bed down on the bayou. Those old million sparkles on the water. Like that mountain lake that was so clear, Jenny. It looked like there were two skies, one on top of the other. And then in the desert, when the sun comes up, I couldn't tell where heaven stopped and the earth began. It was so beautiful.
I wish I could have been there with you.
You were.
I love you.
You died on a Saturday morning. I had you placed here under a tree. And I had that house of your father bulldozed to the ground. Mama always said dying was a part of life. I sure wish it wasn't. Little Forrest is he's doing just fine.
But
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump.
It's soft. This thing is
Do you want a chocolate? I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Kind of screwed up there at the beginning.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Take the file. this particular AVI file, and I'm gonna upload it.
Those must be comfortable shoes.
Okay,
I bet you
that's
could
what
walk
I
all
plan
day
to
in
do.
shoes like that and not feel a thing. I wish I had shoes like that.
My feet hurt.
Mom always said there's an awful lot you can tell about a person by their shoes. Where they going, where they been.
But I don't think they're as long as the first one.
I've worn lots of shoes. I bet if I think about it real hard, I could remember my first pair of shoes. Mama said they'd take
After
me
they get the
anywhere.
video finished, I can get the thing on my computer.
Relational dialectics theory views relationship development as the management of three tensions that pull us in two directions at the same time. In the Forrest Gump movie, I will examine these tensions as identified by relationship researcher Leslie Baxter. These tensions are as listed: connectedness versus autonomy, predictability versus novelty, and openness versus closeness. Connectedness versus autonomy. This tension means that we have a desire to be connected and be interdependent with others, yet a desire to remain autonomous or independent. In other words, we want to be loved, like Jenny wanted to be loved, but yet wanted her independence. By clicking the arrow on the movie clip, it will show Jenny's desire for connectedness through love with Forrest when she suddenly appears in his bedroom and becomes intimate with him. Then, early the next morning, before Forrest awakens, Jenny reverts to her independence and took a cab away. Jenny was again gone out of Forrest's life, just like that.
Will you marry me? I'd make a good husband, Jenny.
You would, Forrest.
But you won't marry me.
You don't want to marry me.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Jenny.
Forrest, I do love you.
Predictability versus uncertainty. Knowing what to expect and being able to predict the circumstances around us helps reduce the tension that occurs from uncertainty. Yet we get bored by constant repetition and routine, and therefore we are attracted to uncertainty. In this movie clip, Forrest is awakened from living a bored life in Greenboro, Alabama, when he receives a letter from Jenny asking him to visit her in Savannah, Georgia. Forrest is certain that he will be meeting Jenny and could possibly renew some type of relationship. However, when he is introduced to little Forrest and told that he was the father, Forrest became uncertain about what action he needed to take and what the future might hold.
Moments ago, at 2:25 p.m., as President Reagan was leaving the Washington Visitor Hotel, 5 or 6 gunshots were fired by an unknown would-be assassin. The president was shot in the chest, and the assailant
I
was
picked up the
immediately
mail.
tackled by a half a dozen lawmen.
One day, out of blue, clear sky, I got a letter from Jenny, wondering if I could come down to Savannah and see her, and that's what I'm doing here. She saw me on TV running. I'm supposed to go on the number 9 bus to Richmond Street and get off and go 1 block left to 1947 Henry Street, apartment 4.
Why, you don't need to take a bus. Henry Street is just 5 or 6 blocks. Down that way.
Down that way?
Down that way.
It was nice talking to you.
I hope everything works out for you. Hey! Forrest! How you doing? Come in, come in.
I got your letter.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Is this your house?
Yeah, it's messy right now. I just got off work.
Nice. You got air conditioning.
Thank you.
I ate some.
Hey, I kept a scrapbook of your clippings and everything. There you are. This, I got you running.
I ran a long way for a long time.
There. Listen, Forrest, I don't know how to say this. I want to apologize for anything that I ever did to you, because I was messed up for a long time, and... Yoo-hoo! Hey! Hi! Hey, you! This is my old friend from Alabama. How'd you do? Listen, next week my schedule changes, so I'll be able to, but thanks.
No
for picking
problem.
him up.
Gotta go, Jen. I'm double packed.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. This is my very good friend, Mr. Gump. Here, can you say hi to him?
Hello, Mr. Gump.
Hello?
Oh, can I go watch TV now?
Yes, you can. Just keep it low.
You're a mama, Jenny.
I'm a mama. His name's Forrest.
Like me.
I named him after his daddy.
He got a daddy named Forrest, too?
You're his daddy, Forrest. Hey. Forrest, look at me. Look at me, Forrest. There's nothing you need to do, okay? You didn't do anything wrong. Okay? Isn't he beautiful?
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But Is he smart?
He's very smart. He's one of the smartest in his class. Yeah, it's okay. Go talk to him.
What are you watching?
Fortnite.
Forrest, I'm sick.
What, do you have a cough due to cold?
I have some kind of virus, and the doctors they don't know what it is, and there isn't anything they can do about it.
Openness and closeness. One ideal we seem to want to achieve in relationships is the ability to be totally open with our partners. We wish to disclose information to others and to have those we are attracted to disclose to us. In the left movie clip, Jenny is very open about what's going on in her life when she invites Forrest to a Black Panther party where she introduces him to Wesley, with whom she lived with. However, in the right movie clip, Jenny does not disclose her darkness of addiction to cocaine and her thoughts to commit suicide. Jenny is on the edge of flying away forever as she dangles on a roof ledge.
Jenny and me was just like peas and carrots again. She showed me around and even introduced me to some of her new friends.
Shut that blonde man and get your white ass away from that window. Don't you know we in a war here?
Hey man, he's cool. He's cool. He's one of us.
Let me tell you about us.
What the hell is
Our purpose here is to protect our black leaders from the racial onslaught of the pig who wishes to brutalize our black leaders, rape our women, and destroy our black community.
Who's the baby killer?
This is my good friend I told you about. This is Forrest Gump. Forrest, this is Wesley. Wesley and I live together in Berkeley. He's the president of the Berkeley chapter of SBS.
Let me tell you something. We are here to offer protection and help for all those who need our help. Because we, the Black Panthers, are against the war in Vietnam. Yes, we are against any war where black soldiers are sent to the front line to die for a country that hates them. Yes, we are against any war where black soldiers go to fight and come to be brutalized and killed in their own communities as they sleep in their beds at night. Yes, we are against all these racist and imperial dog acts.
I shouldn't have brought you here. I should have known it was just going to be some bullshit hassle.
He should not be hitting you, Jenny.
Come on, Forrest.
Sorry I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
Cry with me, Forrest. Cry with me. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
Mama always said that God is mysterious. He didn't turn Jenny into a bird that day.
You think I could fly off this bridge?
What do you mean, Jenny?
Nothing. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, just because we're doing computer shit, that don't mean everybody else is doing.
Implicit personality theory. Your unique set of beliefs and hypotheses about what people are like provides a way of organizing the vast array of information you have about other people's personalities. In my own words, personality theory is how a person acts towards another person based on the situation or the person's personality. I provided some examples from the movie Forrest Gump, which is Miss Gump would act differently when Forrest would ask questions. She would give him the purest advice. Lieutenant Dan treated Forrest like a little brother. He could talk crap to Forrest, but no one else could, or he would get mad. Jenny treated him differently, not because of his disability, but because he loved her so much. In the videos I provided, the first video is Lieutenant Dan defending Forrest when someone called him stupid. The other example I provided is about a minute and 44 seconds into the video, which he's talking to Jenny's grave, and you can just see and tell in the emotion, you can just feel how much he loved Jenny. Moving on to standpoint theory.
What are you, stupid or something? What's your problem? What is your problem? Did you lose your packer in a war or something? What is your friend stupid or something?
What did you say?
Said is your friend stupid or something?
Don't call him stupid!
Hey, don't you push her!
You shut up! Don't you ever call him stupid!
Yeah, baby, why you being
Get
so
the hell out of here!
stupid? Yeah.
Goddamn clothes!
Ripley, believe it or
Get the
not,
hell out of here!
be in a sideshow.
Go on!
You
Get out of here!
Okay. Point made. Move on to the next one. Take the next one.
Hey, Forrest.
Were you scared in Vietnam?
Yes. Why? I don't know. Sometimes it would stop raining long enough for the stars to come out. And then it was nice. It was like just before the sun goes to bed down on the bayou. Those over a million sparkles on the water. Like that mountain lake that was so clear, Jenny. It looked like there were two skies, one on top of the other. And then in the desert, when the sun comes up, I couldn't tell where heaven stopped and the earth began. It was so beautiful.
I wish I could have been there with you.
You were.
I wish I could have been there with you.
You were.
I love you.
You died on a Saturday morning. I had you placed here under a tree. And I had that house of your father bulldozed to the ground. Mama always said dying was a part of life. I sure wish it wasn't. Little Forrest, you're doing just fine.
But
About to start school again soon. I make his breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. I make sure he combs his hair, brushes his teeth every day. Teaching him how to play ping pong. Okay. He's really good. Forrest, you go. We fish a lot. And every night we read a book. You're so smart, Jenny. You'd be so proud of him. I am. He wrote you a letter. And he says, I can't read it. I'm not supposed to, so I just leave it here for you.
Standpoint theory is yet another framework that seeks to explain how we interpret the behavior of others. The theory is relatively simple. We each see the world differently because we are each viewing it from a different position. Standpoint theory explains why people with different cultural backgrounds have different perceptions of others' behaviors. Ethics are the beliefs, values, and moral principles by which we determine what is right or wrong. Forrest has a high self-esteem, even though he was always bullied and yelled at, especially by Jenny, but always answered back with respect. He was never judgmental and he treated everyone the same. Through standpoint theory, he shows ethics. The two clips to your right. The first clip is where he attends an all-white college and the college is accepting the first African American students. The community is against it, but doesn't matter to Forrest. He even picks up a book that a black student drops on her way into the college. He was the only one that would have done this in front of all the white people against black students attending this college. The second clip, Forrest keeps his promise to Bubba about buying the shrimp boat. And after he does, he even goes back to Bubba's family and gives the money that the shrimp boat profited from. Those are the two clips. A couple of more scenes where he shows ethics is where when Ford was younger and his mom had a big house just for them too, but they always had visitors at home, gave them a place to stay, and fed the people. Another one would be Forrest always showed respect to Lieutenant Dan way after they both left the Army. Forrest always replied with the sir and always gave Lieutenant Dan the ranking power as a lieutenant above Forrest. These are some of the scenes where standpoint theory is shown in the movie. On to the next theory, which is narrative paradigm theory.
Federal troops enforcing a court order integrated the University of Alabama today. 2 Negroes were admitted, but only after Governor George Wallace had carried out his symbolic threat to stand in the schoolhouse door.
Governor Wallace, I take it from that statement that we're going to stand in that.
What's going on? Coons are trying to get into school. Coons? Well, raccoons trying to get on our back porch. Mama just chase them off with a broom.
Not raccoons, you idiot niggas. And they want to go to school with us.
With us? They do?
Shortly after Governor Wallace had carried out his promise to block the doorway, President Kennedy ordered the Secretary of Defense then to use military force. Hereby videotape is the encounter by General Graham, commander of the National Guard, and Governor Wallace.
Because these National Guardsmen were here today as federal soldiers on Alabama, and they live within our borders, and they are our brothers. We are winning in this fight because we are awakening the American people to the dangers that we have spoken about so many times, which is so evident today.
And so at day's end, the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa had been desegregated, and students Jimmy Hood and Vivian Malone had been signed up for summer classes.
Ma'am, you dropped your book. Ma'am. Governor Wallace did what he promised to do by being on the Tuscaloosa campus. He kept them off from gathering and prevented.
Wouldn't that go?
Nah, that couldn't be. Sure as hell was.
I didn't stay home for long because I'd made a promise to Bubba, and I always try to keep my promise. So I went on down to Biola Battery to meet Bubba's family and make the introduction.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
I guess.
And of course, I paid my respect to Bubba himself. Hey, Bubba, it's me, Forrest Gump. I remember everything you said, and I got it all figured out. I'm taking the $24,562.47 that I got, that's left after a new haircut and a new suit, and I took Mom out to a real fancy dinner, and I bought a bus ticket and 3 Dr. Peppers.
Tell me something. Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir. Well, that's what's left after me saying, when I was in China on the All-America ping pong team, I just loved playing ping pong with my Flexo Lights ping pong paddle, which everybody knows isn't true, but Mama said just a little white lie, so it wasn't hurting nobody. So anyway, I'm putting all that on gas, ropes, and new nets, a brand new shrimping boat.
The narrative paradigm is a theoretical framework that views narrative as the basis of all human communication. In other words, this framework proposes the notion that all aspects of meaningful communication is nothing more than just a storyline or report detailing a description of events, and that all human beings commonly experience and perceive life as though it is a series of ongoing narratives, each with its own plot, characters, and conflicts. Simply put, all forms of human communication can be seen as a story. Following the basis of the narrative paradigm leads us to consider some of the key concepts, such as coherence, narrative rationality, fidelity, and good reasons that are all found at the core of this theoretical framework. As we examine the narrative paradigm further and use it to analyze the film Forrest Gump, we will see multiple representations of this theory and concepts throughout the film. Human beings are all natural-born storytellers, and in the movie, Forrest Gump does not pass an opportunity to tell a story. In fact, he capitalizes on every opportunity to share a story in each conversation he has. In the opening scene of the film, Forrest is sitting on the bench with a woman sharing a story about his magic shoes. Decisions about a story's worth are based on good reasons. Oftentimes, when we hear a story, we choose to accept the story's worth for what it is or extract what isn't logical. In the film, many of the stories that Forrest told were simply hard to believe, and some of the people he talked to accepted his stories when others rejected it. Rationality is based on people's judgment of a story's consistency and truthfulness. Sometimes people will reject or accept a story based on its consistency or truthfulness. In the movie, one elderly man completely rejects Forrest's story of him being the bubblegum shrimp business owner, while an elderly lady who listened in accepted the story. Coherence is another key concept that can be found in the film. Although Forrest's stories were hard to believe at first, his actions remained consistent with his character, which added coherence to his stories. Fidelity is another key concept that can be found in the film, which measures how credible or reliable Forrest Gump was. Because of Forrest's simplistic nature and his low IQ, some people found it very difficult to believe his stories, so they rejected his credibility. In essence, the narrative paradigm theory basically is an explanation of why we tell the stories that we do and how we come to conclude which of the stories to reject or accept. Click on the video to the left to view how Forrest explains that he is the owner of the Bubba Gump shrimp business to seniors in the park while using logic of good reasons to assess narrative fidelity.
Bubba Gump Shrimp. It's a household name.
Hold on there, boy. Are you telling me you're the owner of the Bubba Gump Shrimp Corporation?
Yes, sir. We got more money than Davy Crockett.
Boy, I heard some whoppers in my time, but that tops them all.
I thought it was a very lovely story, and you tell it so well, with such enthusiasm.
Would you like to see what Lieutenant Dan looks like?
Well, yes, I would.
That's him right there. Now, it used to be, I ran to get where I was going. I never thought it would take me anywhere.
hell is that?
That there's Forrest Gump, Coach.
Just a local idiot.
And can you believe it? I got to go to college, too. Now, maybe it's just me, but college was very confusing times. College ran by real fast because I played so much football. They even put me on a thing called the All-America team, where you get to meet the President of the United States.
President Kennedy met with the Collegiate All-American football team at the Oval Office today.
Now, the really good thing about meeting the President of the United States is the food. They put you in this little room with just about anything you want to eat or drink. And since, number one, I wasn't hungry but thirsty, and number two, they was free, I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
It's an honor, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I got a pig.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
My mama used to say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. This is a quote extracted from the film Forrest Gump. Forrest's life truly was like a box of chocolates, but his determination and perseverance helped prepare him to overcome the odds stacked against him.